you got to find one that can run. Most of them that can run, they're a little bad-minded. And it's just the all-around scoring, get them to work good and then get them to face good, just any of it. And he called me one day and said, hey, you want to work on a movie? I said, sure, what's it pay? And he told me, and I said, when do I need to be there? He said, tomorrow. So I loaded up Crystal City and drove to Santa Fe, New Mexico. I think the first time we made candles, we made 36 in one day, and we thought we was really doing it. It was, it's been quite the learning curve, and she works her butt off, and I couldn't be more proud of her.
Welcome back to the Wealthy Cowboy Show. Today we got on Coy Speer. You've probably seen Coy if you've been around Central Texas. He goes to a bunch of ranch rodeos, team ropes, rides a bunch of horses. They've started putting on horse sales, and just a cowboy. So, and he's turning into a businessman. And I'm glad to have you here, Coy.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, tell me a little bit about your background. I know you've done a bunch of cool stuff through your life.
Oh man, I've lived a lot of people's dreams, I think. Started out, my dad rode the barn horses at tons of sales, Clovis, Roswell, El Paso, Amarillo. Just started riding the horses and helping him. And
are y'all from out that direction?
I grew up in Clovis. My dad's he was from South Texas, but moved up there, I guess, right at college. And that's where I grew up, right there, right across the street from the sale barn, right there in Clovis.
Yeah, just so you just grew up around those horse sales, and
yep.
Was he trading some horses too?
Oh yeah, he traded a bunch of horses. We worked the sale barn on Wednesdays. They had a cow sale, and he had a branding service there, so we brand all the cattle and work at the sales, trade horses, rope.
Yeah. Were you roping a bunch then?
Oh yeah, yeah. He trained a bunch of rope horses and roped a lot whenever I was growing up.
What was that like? Like how many horses would y'all have on hand?
He'd never know. You might have 10, you might have 100. He'd have big pens full of them everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then when did y'all come this direction?
In 2004, he bought the sale barn in Talpa, and that's what brought us to Coleman County.
What was that? But before, was that a horse sale before?
Yep. Yeah, he bought it off of Tommy Rush or Ginger Sneed, Bill and Ginger. Tommy had died, and it was sitting, and offered it to Dad, and he bought it.
Was there kind of it seems like it's out in the middle of nowhere. Was there like a lot of horses out in that country, or?
Yes, there's a bunch, but it was just Tommy lived right there in Talpa and built that thing and had horse sales, and then we kind of followed along and done the same thing.
Yeah. And then how was that, like, were those pretty big, those ones that y'all had there?
Yeah, they weren't huge. It was a lot of country people. And Talpa is always, we've said it forever, is like going back 30 years in time. It's just a little different than your Clovis, your Cleburne, all your big sales. It's just, it's different.
Mm-hmm. And did you, I assume you started seeing that and your dad taught you how to kind of buy and sell some horses, and
yes,
were you like all the other kids and ride some ponies too and stuff?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I always loved the driving horses, and always had something around that drove or was trying to drive, and just, I don't know, just always
training, jacking with them somehow, yep. Doing something.
That's it. That's it.
And so how did that progress, like going through high school and all that? Like, was that always your path? You were always going to do something with horses, or did you have anything in mind?
Well, I played football in high school and was decent at it, and probably should have went and played football in college, but all I wanted to do was rope and trade horses, so I went to Talpa.
Yeah. What was did you see any future in that, or you just like when I was young, I was just, I just wanted a cowboy, so it was like from week to week. You know how I live my life. However,
that's pretty much the same deal. I could have had any kind of future, and that was what I wanted to do: just trade horses and rope.
And then, so you got into stunts, right?
Yes.
How did that evolve?
It was right after my dad sold the sale barn, and we were living at my grandmother's in South Texas. And Clay Lilly, we've sold him a ton of horses and been around forever in the horse business. And he called me one day and said, "Hey, you want to work on a movie?" I said, "Sure, what's it pay?" And he told me, and I said, "When do I need to be there?" He said, "Tomorrow." So I loaded up in Crystal City and drove to Santa Fe, New Mexico the next day, threw my dirty clothes in the back seat and hauled butt up there. Just kind of all went from there. It was probably 2 or 3 weeks before, and I kind of got the horses ready and started riding them, and then told me I was going to extra, just ride in the background, stay out of the way. Well, that lasted probably a month, and then the stunt coordinator and Clay come up to me and said, "Hey, we need you to double this actor." I said, "I don't care. Whatever I need to do, I'm here." This is like day
What
work.
movie was it?
Cowboys and Aliens. And got on that deal. Taft Hartley'd me into the union, and it was all kind of downhill from there.
What did that consist of when they were like, "You got a stunt"? Did you know what you're gonna have to do? Or
yeah, they'd tell you everything, whatever you wanted, whatever they wanted, and just kind of, I guess, my horse knowledge, and I was more of a safety guy than anything to start with, and then kind of got into the fallen horse deal, and just
how did that evolve? Like I saw a video like a long time ago that you posted of having one fall, just standing there and hitting his head, and he just falls over.
Yeah.
How much time goes into that?
Quite a bit. Some of them take it way better than others, and it's not natural. Nothing about it is. I've been trying my whole life to keep them on their feet.
Yeah. And then you teach them to fall down on you.
Oh, yeah. A good friend of mine from L.A. called me and said, "Hey, there's a show coming up. They need a bunch of fallen horses." He goes, "You want to come out here and stay with me, and we'll make some fallen horses?" I said, "Yeah, whatever." So I got my pickup, loaded all my horses, and went to L.A. And I think I stayed out there 9 months or a year by the time everything. And that was right before Django and Lone Ranger. And we just went to busting our butts.
Was that a profitable venture?
It was.
What kind of horse would you need for that? Are you just looking for just a cheap kind of dumb horse, or you got to have some kind of athleticism? DX Trailer Sales is based out of Lubbock, Texas, and it is definitely not just a trailer dealership. If you are involved in the Western way of life, and if you're listening to this show, you probably are, then they have something you need. From trailers for a day working cowboy to a full-time cattle hauler to hay trailers for a farmer or rancher, to arena drags, rope and chutes, and feeders for the rodeo cowboy or cowgirl. They also deal in every kind of hay any of your animals could ever need. Literally anything you need, farming, ranching, or rodeoing, they're going to have something for you, and it's going to be at a super affordable price. Besides all that, everyone you deal with there is super friendly and very helpful. So check out DX Trailer Sales on Facebook or dxtrailers.com and tell them you came from the Wealthy Cowboy Show.
Well, we went through, so he's got a dude string, Scott Perez. He's got a dude string out there, and he's got no telling how many horses. And we just went through all them dude horses, and you want a thinner made, kind of a higher headed looking horse that.
Old school looking horse.
Yep, where they just look like they're going to fall down. And then just start laying them down, speed it up. Here in a minute, you got to get on and do it and see if it works.
So how did it, you started from the ground teaching them?
Mm-hmm. Yep, we'd pull them over, just pretty much teach them how to lay down, tie a leg up, pull them over, and then just slowly speed it up from there. And some of them don't make, some of them do.
Was there any injuries doing all that?
Not really, no. Bunch of bruises, sore.
Yeah.
Want to feel sorry for yourself.
I would imagine so.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you said, that besides trying to get a horse to stand up, you're also trying not to fall off.
Exactly.
and now you're getting paid to fall off and
That's it.
fall down.
Yeah. And really the best thing is to stay close to them. You know, don't get away from them, and you kind of make the ground the best you can and go at it.
What was that? Did you have some mentors in that? Like, hey, when you fall or you fall down, you jump off, like do this, do that.
Oh yeah. The stunt world, all them guys, man, are just awesome people. Love to help you. Try to get you the best you can, and they'll give you pads. I didn't have none of that. They're like, here, put a hip pad on or this or that, and just go at it. You gotta sell it, sell the hit, and go.
What are those guys like? Is that like a whole subculture of stunt people?
Oh yeah, they're great people.
Yeah, I know that movie. What was that Burt Reynolds movie, Hooper? It's about. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's an old, Burt Reynolds, like in the 80s or whatever, and it's about stunt guys out there, and they're just doing wild stuff all the time, drinking beer, and they're on westerns and jumping cars and wrecking cars and all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them guys that I met out there, man, that done some wild stuff.
Did you ever get into anything besides the horses, or
not really? No.
Was there any opportunity there for any of that?
Probably so, if I would have stayed out there, but had to come back to horse sales. It's just like a big circle. I just got to come back to them.
Can't get away from them.
That's it.
So how long did you stay out there and do that?
Well, probably from the time I went out there and we started making them horses till Django. I worked on it for a while, and then I went from Django straight to Lone Ranger, and I don't know how long I was gone. Probably between both shows and being out there, probably a year, a little bit more.
And you just decided to come, when that stuff was over, come back to riding horses and day working and that kind of deal.
Roping and seeing how fast I could spend that money that I got from them.
Yeah. You pile some money up. That's the cowboy way, right? You pile some money up and then go spend it all.
That's it.
Go back to work.
See how fast you can spend it so you can go back to work.
Yeah, like on the Rounders when they're going into town, towards the end, we come up here and we work for Jim Ed Love and we make this money, and then we just go into town and spend it all in one night, and we're back working for Jim Ed Love.
Yeah, it's a revolving circle you can't get out of if you ain't careful.
What if so when you came back, like what's your niche in that horse deal? Were you buying some and roping on them and taking them back, or trying to sell them to somebody else? Or
no, yeah, and it's like you. I called you. Hey, I'm gonna have a horse sale. You got something nice you want to put in it, or we have after the catalog too. So if you got junk, we'll sell anything. Mm-hmm. I love to have good ones in the catalog, but you got to have a place to go with the bottom end too.
Right. Yeah. There's a market for everything. The top, and then just the guys that can't afford a super nice one.
Absolutely.
I know you're big in team roping, and you're putting some ropings on too and stuff like that. Like, are you getting into any of that, the rope horse stuff, and making those at all? Or
I used to a bunch, and I kind of backed away from it, and kind of starting back, but I don't want to get carried away.
Yeah.
Man can't go do anything if he got 20 heads standing around and he's got a rope on every day.
Right. You try to keep some freedom where you can move around a little bit.
That's it.
So what's kind of your model on those horses now? Are you keeping a certain number around, always some for sale, moving them so many days, or how does that work?
Just depends. I mean, it's
always looking for opportunity.
Yes. Somebody calls, I'll try to buy one every day if I could, but sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Right. And like you said, now you're getting into the actual putting on the horse sales. Y'all had one at San Angelo at the Open Fiesta. Y'all are putting some on there at Talpa. Mm-hmm. And you're partnered with Trent Ward on those.
Yep.
and we had Milton on the other day, and it's kind of cool. I've been around Trent some, and it's cool that he seems like he wants to give somebody opportunity, you know,
Absolutely.
partnered on something, and
he does for sure. He'll kind of do whatever.
Yeah. I know when I was up there with Cash, he would be like, "Hey, y'all want to start riding some of these horses and, you know, riding them and then partnering on them or whatever." And never did. No telling what we would have come up with. But.
That's right. That's exactly right. He's always got something.
Yeah.
You know, he'll help a man trade. He'll do whatever. So good guy.
Yeah. How has that been? And I find like that's one of the big things in life is finding a good mentor, finding a good partner. How's that been doing business with him?
It's good. He stays in Kaufman, and then he tends to Cleburne every week. So Talpa, he don't come out there a whole lot. You know, he stays busy with his own stuff, and we just kind of, Talpa's pretty much mine, I guess. I mean, it's
what's kind of the vision been with that, with wanting to put those on there at Talpa and then the San Angelo sale? Like, are you just addicted to horse sales, or you want to build something there, or what? Diamond L Pro Rodeo is dedicated to producing high-quality PRCA rodeos. These guys are super passionate about producing rodeos, from having the best stock to providing the best specialty acts and announcers. Since starting, they've been able to bring PRCA rodeos to several small towns that have never had one before, and the people have loved it. And like most of the businesses on here, it's ran by great people, the Loves. They also own Live Oak Auction Company in Goldthwaite, Texas. But Chase has a passion for rodeo and ranching that has always driven him. So if you're looking to put on a PRCA rodeo in your town, contact Diamond L Pro Rodeo on Facebook, or contact Chase directly at 325-451-0029. You can also find them on Snapchat and Instagram.
I mean, in the long run, yeah, I'd like to blow it up and make it as big as we can. And we just got to market everything and do the best we can and get some good horses and good people in there. Like Angelo, this was our first one. It was kind of not in a rush, but we didn't have a ton of time to get ready for it, but it was good for what it was for the first one. It was great. We sold probably right at half of the horses, but good people, you know, everybody that was there we knew, and the horses we knew, they'd had them a long time. Talpa, sometimes you don't get, you'll have your handful of people that bring horses that you know, hey, these suckers are good every time. So,
yeah, is that a struggle to? I mean, I guess if it's a weekly sale, you're just gonna let whoever come in. But like, if you're gonna have a catalog deal, finding that good horse flesh to put in there.
Yes, it's tough because there's so many good sales. You know, there's one every weekend you can go to. They're everywhere.
What have you been able to do to get those in there? And besides getting the horses in there, you got to get the buyers in there too.
Yes.
What are you having to do to bring those together?
You stay on your phone. You call everybody you got and you tell him you need a nice horse, and then you call everybody that don't have a horse there to come and buy the ones you got.
Yeah. Or tell the people that are bringing one to leave with one too.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's it.
What do you see like are some struggles of, I mean, you've always been a hustler doing something. Like, what are some struggles that come with that life?
Man, just like, say I call you and say, hey, I need some horses for the sale. And the biggest struggle would be people putting them in a couple months early and getting them committed and then keeping them in there. Something not come up, you know, life happens and something else comes up that you got to do. And that's probably the biggest struggle we have, is just the certainty of getting them on time where we can advertise, where we can do the best job for them that we can do.
Yeah. On the other side of it, on the customers and getting them to come and fill their needs and spend money. And then dealing with them on the backside, how has that been?
It's good. We have a guarantee that pretty much it's 4 days. So you take him home and ride him. If he ain't what they said, if he's not sound in the guarantee, we'll take him right back to him. I mean, we want everybody to be satisfied and have confidence buying them. So whenever you're in there and you're thinking, maybe he's not 100%, or maybe, well, if he's guaranteed, you got 4 days.
Yeah.
You know.
And is that just, are you just guaranteeing the soundness on that, or just the quality of the horse too? Or
well, on the quality deal, that's tough because this guy said my kids can ride him. Well, who are your kids? You know? Your kids might be handier than the man that's buying him for his kids.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line there. That's tough, but you got to know what you're buying too, and you got to know what you're trying to buy.
I've always been leery of calling anything a kid horse.
Exactly.
Know? I'm like, this horse has never done anything with me. Always been gentle. I was like, I'm not going to tell you to put your little kid on him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's something that people just got to be mindful about whenever they're going in to buy horses. Get the history on him. Talk to the people. Call them before you come. You know, go try them before you come.
I think, and I don't know. I see sometimes it could be a struggle. Is like the buyer doesn't really even know what he wants or needs.
Yeah, they see a pretty horse and they're like, "Ooh, I want that one."
Yeah.
Well, that's not what you need.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it works, and most people come around and ask me or ask Trent or somebody involved and be like, "Hey, would this horse work for me?" And sometimes we tell them no. You know, I don't want them to have a bad horse.
What do you think? What do you think the horse market? What do you think of the horse market? Do you think it's? I mean, it's been pretty good for the rope horse deals coming around, and all the rejects of the cutter and the cow horse. You got to have a new form on that. What have you seen on the ranch horses and all the other horses like that? You may remember on episode 41 with Cody, Matt, and Taryn of 817 Horse Sales, they announced their new sale, Apex. These sales are going to be geared more towards the ranch, rope, and performance horses and not just cutting horses. The first sale is going to be February 8th, and you can check them out on Facebook at Apex Auction Group, or go to apexauctiongroup.com to look at all the great horses consigned, or to see about putting your horse in one of the upcoming sales. Cody, Matt, and Taryn do an awesome job of putting nice horses together and make sure they're a perfect fit for you, so check out Apex Auction Group.
It's high, and I think it'll stay high. I think it could get better. You know, and people that raise them, it's a tough deal because it's when you have a colt. We raise a few horses, and I try to sell them as weanlings or yearlings, and I keep some to ride. But it's tough to say what one's worth ever. You know, you watch online, them things bring 100,000, then you get to Talpa and they bring 15 or 20. They're like, man, where's that coming from? I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't done it, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's at a sale. I mean, it's all you just need two people that think they have to have them.
That's it.
And you're getting into that deal of like you said, there's no set value. The set value would be, I guess, what he brings in Mexico on any horse, and so it's all up to what somebody comes up in their head.
That's what somebody will ask for them, what somebody will pay for them.
Yeah,
on that day, and it changes daily.
Yeah. Any sale, you could just, I don't know. The sales are cool. We haven't sold any horses really through sales. Try to do it at home, but because you know what you're asking, kind of know what the deal is. But sales are cool because you could also get more than you would ever even ask for that
That's
horse
right.
if two people get in a bidding war.
A lot of times that happens.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times people say, "Oh, I want $4,000 or $5,000 for this horse." He might bring 7 or 10.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool to go see two guys get into it, and they may think they're getting a bargain too.
That's right. That's right.
Did you see it at Abilene? Were you at Abilene at the sale?
I didn't go this year.
What's his name? He rode a circle bar horse. Gregory. Anyways, rode a circle bar horse through there, and he put his kid on there, and they put another kid, and then I think like 4 or 5 kids got on this.
I've heard about it.
And he brought like $60,000.
Yeah. I think every time they put a kid on it, somebody told me he'd bring another 10,000. So they just kept stacking them on there.
That's what Steve said on the microphone. He's like, get another kid to bring another 10,000.
That's it. That's it.
So are you going to expand that to any more sales? I mean, y'all have Talpa and then San Angelo at their open fiesta. Are y'all going to try to put on any more sales throughout anywhere you got your eyes on anything else? Or?
I think we're just going to stay hooked with what we got this year and try to build them up and do a better job as a whole for them too.
How often will y'all have the Talpa one?
I'm going to try to say that we have 5 this year, maybe 6. Just, it's hard to have one February. We always get a freeze, and nobody wants to buy a horse whenever it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
So March, April, we'll probably have the first one of next year, and then
every other month or something.
Try to get a game plan this winter and set down and get some dates for all year.
And what is that? I've been by that place a bunch, but I haven't stopped in when y'all had a sale. I know y'all have an arena and a pretty cool setup there. Like, are y'all having a big preview and all that?
Oh, yeah. We'll show the horses before every sale, and if they're just a riding horse, get out there and ride them, show them, Rope horses, we'll have cattle there. You can rope on them until they're wore out or blew up.
Yeah. And I guess it'd be up to the discretion of the buyer and seller, but they could try the horses out there too.
Yeah,
and everything.
And I tell people, get out there and look at them, and like a good rope horse, you don't want somebody else getting on him and showing him right there. But in the same sense, let them ride them. Tell them what they are. They can see what they are and go from there.
Yeah, I've had some horses that were. I'm not a team roper, so like. I've had some that I thought would make team roping horses, and I'd be like, can we go try them? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, but they've never been roped on. And then they come back and they're blown up.
Exactly.
Like, oh yeah, he didn't work out. Yeah, I bet, because you blew him up already.
Yeah, some people don't do a very good job training horses. They just need to buy a finished one.
Yeah.
Be money ahead.
Yes. They thought, I guess, could buy a cheap one that was been ranched on or whatever. And just go to roping.
That's it.
You've also, your wife's got her own company also, and that's kind of a cool story of how you were telling me earlier y'all started in the living room and you're the main employee.
That's it. Yep. I think the first time we made candles, we made 36 in one day, and we thought we was really doing it. It was it's been quite the learning curve, and she works her butt off, and I couldn't be more proud of her.
What goes in? How do you make a candle? I've got to tell you all about the Trailer Coating Company. If you have a living quarters trailer, a show trailer, or a camper, they can coat the top of the trailer to not only seal it from leaks, but it also helps insulate it from the extreme weather. I know down here when we go somewhere in the summertime, it's super hard on the AC to try to keep up, especially if you're in and out of the trailer a lot, opening the door and all that. Not only will it help with the AC in the living area, but it'll also help keep your horses or livestock cooler as well. Up to 45 degrees cooler, they claim. That is crazy. And it doesn't matter where you're located, you can contact them and they can come directly to you. Check out the Trailer Coating Company on Facebook or go to thetrailercoatingco.com to see how they can help you. You can also call Jason Holder directly at 682-284-3938.
She buys wax in big blocks, and she's got like a crock pot pretty much with a spout on the bottom of it, and she melts the wax down and puts fragrance in it and pours candles. It's a whole process. She does it right there in the front of her store where everybody can watch her do it. And from bowls to jars, just anything. She makes laundry soap, a counter cleaner, carpet cleaner, soap, all kinds of stuff. She just keeps doing more.
And her storefront's in Coleman.
Coleman.
Wick
Wick Candle Co.
Where did you come up with that name?
She
Pretty
did.
Good name.
She did. She did for sure.
And I know she used to ride some ponies and horses, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah, she used to rope and train ponies, and now she's just down. She's got 2 ponies and that's it.
Dang.
Yeah.
Was that something is that how y'all met, or did you get her into doing something like that, or what?
No, she done the ponies before, and heck, we just kind of blew it up whenever we got together. I went to sell every week, and I'd buy her 2 to 10 or 20. We might have 30 or 40 of them ponies standing around out there.
The pony deal, I'm hoping Lottie will grow up in a few years and get pretty handy, because you can buy those wild, or unbroke or whatever ponies for nothing, because they're not worth anything. And then once you get a little kid can ride them, they're worth a lot of money.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a huge margin there, but it's tough. That goes into the kid horse deal that we talked about a minute ago.
Yeah.
It's a fine line, and she done a great job of it. But there was behind the scenes watching all the wrecks and the sorry ones that I'd bought her that she'd be mad about.
What do you think? You've trained horses to do all kinds of stuff and all kinds of horses. What do you think is the hardest thing to train? Was it falling down, or training one of those ponies, or training a cart horse?
Probably a head horse.
Really?
Yes, sir. That you got to find one that can run. Most of them that can run, they're a little bad-minded. And it's just the all-around scoring, get them to work good, and then get them to face good, just any of it. It's a full process. Like a hill horse, yeah, they got to be good to be a high-level horse, but man can jack around on a hill horse and rope the dummy and keep it slow and slowly speed it up, but you're not asking him for his life on every one of them.
That's what I always said on a hill horse. Of course, I'm not a very good heeler, but when I'd play around something, I'm like, I just see him go down there and turn left.
That's it.
It's not that hard. And you've probably seen Ethan. I've seen Ethan go down there, like I'd go buy a horse off of him. He's like, oh yeah, he's got like 10 rides. I've been heeling on him. And I'm like, and he'd sure enough, like, I guess shorten one rein up and get them to poke their head left a little bit and throw.
Oh yeah, he'd get by any of them, make them look good.
Yeah.
And win on them.
Yeah. Say, yeah, been heeling on them. Well, not everybody can heel on them.
No, probably nobody but him.
Yeah, that head horse, I know, like Miles Baker, he was saying like he wants a running horse on that side, for the speed and the size and everything, but then they don't have the cow. So you got to teach them that part of it.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you're trying to build the perfect horse, or you got to trade off same deal on the hillside, or like I ride calf horses. If you take the cow out, then you got to teach them how to do that.
Yes.
And then, like the reining horse on that end, he said the reining horse ride really good, put them where you want, stop really big, but they're not going to follow the cow around.
Exactly.
It's kind of a trade-off. On your, what about the cart horses? Did you get in any wrecks training those?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the first time I ever got in trouble with the cops was on a horse and buggy.
How would that happen?
I was probably 8 or 10 years old, and I had a black Mexican horse. His name was Taco, and I'd drive him around the neighborhood there in Clovis, and I was running over for sale signs. Well, the shafts got hooked on one. Well, them horses back then didn't back up. They never backed them up. So I couldn't get him to back up. Well, the guy's house that I run the sign over, he called the cops. Well, and I'm stuck up there. I'm a little kid, don't know what to do, trying to get my horse back up, and he won't back up. And the cops show up. Well, I have to unhook him and back the wagon up and then hook him back up. That's how I got him out of it. But I think during all that, my dad drove by and just wove.
He wasn't helping you out. Huh?
No. He laughed, thought it was the funniest thing in the world that I was hung up over there.
Did you have any runoffs?
Yeah, a few. We'd just hook them up and go, drag a tire with them a few days, and then hook them in a team and go. If they run off, just let them roll. They'll get tired. Try not to run nothing over.
You just try to steer them in the right direction.
That's it. Just guide them the best you can.
You put those kind of horses, do you put them like in an arena to do that, or you want a big pasture, or what?
Yeah, a lot of people probably would tell me that I'm wrong, but we just put them in the pasture and go. And most of the time it was good. If you drove them and they were good on the ground, then usually it don't take a whole lot. Be mindful and try to keep yourself out of a wreck. Look forward.
Yeah. What's the most profitable horse? What's the most profit you made on a horse deal?
Man, I bought a black horse from Sid Cooley, and I had him a long time. We won a ton on him. I let a guy, Willow Quinn, rode him in Vegas and won the 12 on him out there one year. And then I sold him to Candace Smith, and he made a lot of money, but that was probably the hardest one I ever sold too.
Yeah.
I kind of made a living roping on him, you know?
Yeah.
Or letting somebody else ride him. There's a lot of people that rode him that won a bunch on him too.
Yeah, but I imagine if he won the one out there at Vegas, that was a pretty good payday for mount money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I just charged him 10%. He's a good buddy of mine, you know, and he won it. I couldn't believe it. It was awesome.
Not as good as Milton was saying the other day. Him and Trent were on the halves at Vegas when he went out there the first time.
Right. Yeah, that'd have been nice to do.
Yeah. He said they were pumping him up, asking if he needed anything and all this when he made the short round.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think. I know you got some good horse trading stories. What some other ones would be that you have?
If you're in the livestock business, you probably use a hot shot, and it seems like they're always either broke or dead when you really need one. Hercules Ag has solved that problem. I got one of their hot shots when it first came out, and I still haven't even had to charge it, and it works every time flawlessly. I just got my second one in to leave it to shoot with this short shaft on it, but they also have many different options for shafts to fit your needs. They also have this 50 milliliter repeater syringe, and it has these cool little ends, these color-coded ends on it, so you know which medicine goes in which syringe, because that's always a hassle if you're giving a bunch of different shots, which ones goes in which syringe, all that stuff. So check out HerculesAg.com today to order yours or to see about even becoming a dealer.
I had a Dodge pickup. I wrecked a pickup, and I bought another Dodge pickup. It was the old school square body, real nice pickup. Well, I traded it to Jeff Smith for like 4,000 buckets in a trailer, water buckets. That's probably one of the weirdest trades.
Yeah. How long did it take you to pedal those buckets?
A long time. I think I sold a bunch of them to Travis Grimsley for like 50 cents or something. I was sick of buckets.
I did that one time. Everybody thought I was crazy. I traded, same kind of deal. I traded I traded a saddle for a pickup, an old Chevy pickup I got off of Ethan. And then I traded that pickup for a pair of spurs and a horn knot for Preston Johnson. They're like, "You're trading a pickup for a pair of spurs?" Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have you made any other interesting trades in a late night alley trade or anything?
Man, I'm sure there's been a ton of them.
I think that I was telling somebody the other day, I think now we're kind of buying like a cow horse, cow bred horse or started cow horse or something, and Shady might cow horse on them for a little while, and then I'll use them outside and day work on them, and then go to roping calves on them or something, and you get sometimes you get a $10,000-$15,000 spread there after you keep them for a year or two or something. And I was thinking back, I guess the good old days, I guess you'd call it, when horses were cheap. Right. You could go buy them for $500-$600 and ride them for a month and sell them for 12 or 15.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, man, that's probably the most money that I've actually made, as far as profit margin.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now you just get into bigger numbers but lower margins. Yes. It seems like.
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't. It's always interesting. I like to talk to people that make money on horses because it's a unique business, I guess.
Tough business.
Yeah, I haven't found the way to do it yet. I haven't perfected it.
Sometimes I feel the same way.
I've bought cheap ones. I've bought high dollar ones.
Yep.
I've done different things on them.
Oh yeah.
You never know.
No, it's definitely tough.
What are kind of your goals for your horse sale and your life in general? You got, like you said, you're putting on some ropings and doing different things. What are your goals for the future, the immediate future with all that stuff?
Just have a place where somebody can come buy a horse with confidence that they're getting what they bought and sell them as high as I can for the people that bring them. Mm-hmm. Make it just where it's a nice place to come and people enjoy coming. And the ropings, man, I like to rope, so why not have some ropings?
Have your buddies over and
exactly.
Charge them a little money.
That's it.
In your deal in that, the horse, putting on horse sales, putting on ropings, buying and selling horses, what do you think's the most important skill to have there to be successful?
Honesty. Be honest. Might not make you as much at one time, but it'll keep your return customers coming. Mm-hmm. And that's probably the biggest thing beat into me as a kid is be honest.
That's in any business. That's huge. I always talk about as honesty, integrity. Like you said, you may lose on a deal up front or something. Go take a dip, but that person's going to come back and buy something else from you or tell a friend or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I've got a handful of people that won't even buy one unless I look at him. And I'm like, you know what you're doing. You know what you need. You don't need my help.
What would you say is good financial advice for somebody in your situation where you don't have any guaranteed income? It's you're having to hustle. You're doing different things. You got a lot of stuff going on. What do you do with your finances to kind of keep you rolling?
Man's got to hustle. Got to get up every morning hungry, go to work and find something. That's kind of what I do. I get on the phone, mm-hmm. Call somebody, just figure it out.
Yeah,
I don't. Work ethic is it in anything you do.
Yeah, I think those are both super important. Work ethic and honesty.
Yeah,
and I think that's a big deal too. Is like I've always been not scared to take the risk I never wanted a job, and that does come with you got to get up and go make something, go find something to do.
That's it.
Go sell some buckets.
Yep. I've built halters, like snowstorm or something. I learned how to build halters, and then I made some reins. I've done some stuff that at least occupied my time that wasn't losing money. Mm-hmm. Keep you out of the bar. Keep you from drinking beer.
Just spending money.
That's it.
Sometimes as long as I heard a guy the other day, he was talking about horses, and he was talking about he may not be productive that day, but at least he didn't go backwards. He said sometimes he would go down there to train a horse or ride a colt or whatever, and he would he'd not do it. He'd just sit there outside the pen and smoke a couple cigars. And he's like, I didn't make any progress, but I didn't screw anything up.
Absolutely. I told my wife one time, I said, if I sit on the couch, it don't cost nothing.
Where can everybody find the horse sale company? Find you? Find Wicked Wick? How they get a hold of it?
Facebook. Just man, that's kind of our main deal. And
Texas Horse
Sales, and then Wicked Wick Candles. Come to Coleman.
Yeah, it's right there in downtown, isn't it?
Yep. Coleman's a neat town, great people, and it's been awesome to us.
Yeah, they've kind of redone that downtown. Oh yeah. It's cool to see all over all these downtowns getting redone and cool old buildings.
Yep. Yeah, I guess I've banked there for 20 years in Coleman, and me and my banker were talking about it last year before he quit or retired, whatever you want to say. We'd drive down that main street where the bank was and nothing was going on. And if we'd have just known this was coming in Coleman, that we could have bought them buildings for nothing.
Yeah.
For nothing. And that one we bought, it cost something, but it still didn't cost that much. But we got in at the right time.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, y'all go check out Texas Horse Sales. Look up Coy Speer. If you wanna buy or sell a horse, keep an eye out for those horse sales coming up in Talpa, San Angelo next year, and check out his wife's business, the Wicked Wick Candle Company, and share this episode out. Leave a comment and rate and review us. Subscribe, follow, do all those things, and we'll see y'all next time. A mastermind has the sole purpose of getting you further, faster, and that's exactly what we're doing with the Wealthy Cowboy Show Mastermind. It is for the person that's ready to start out building their business or someone just looking to get their business to the next level. We will have live Q&A calls that you can ask past and future guests questions that relate specifically to you. You'll also hear ideas and be able to network with people that could open you up to a completely different way of thinking that could change your life. Click the link below if you're looking to go to the next level in business and in life.